Harold Hogan is going to offer our prayer this morning.
Let us bow. Eternal Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning, Father, thanking you for another day, for allowing us just to be in the land of the living. Father, we just ask you today, this morning, to help us be on one accord about county business. Father, I ask right now that you lift up the family, Dave Fair, and just bless his entire family, Father, in this time of need. And Father, we just ask you to continue to be with Brownwood here in Brown County. Bless our officials that represent this county and this city. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you. First on the agenda is the recognition, first responder recognition. We've got two, my understanding.
Yes, sir.
And what order do you want to go in?
All right, however you want to do it.
Okay.
Get them both up together, it'd be fine.
Well, let's do Mr. Herring first. My understanding is that someone who nominated him,
Sergeant Smoot,
Sergeant
Judge.
Smoot. read your nomination.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning. It's, yeah.
All right, on December 16th, 2022, Deputy Herring responded to a trauma call in 24,000 block of Highway 279, where a male named Matthew Wheeler had been shot accidentally by his own shotgun in his left bicep area. It is noted that Deputy Herring arrived on scene at approximately 2:39 p.m., where he observed Wheeler lying on the ground with a substantial amount of blood loss and coagulated blood spread throughout the ground. Herring observed a makeshift tourniquet from a belt, which was midway placed on Wheeler's arm, attempting to stop the bleeding. I believe Herring acted fast after arriving on scene, established that he had a tourniquet on him that was more effective and needed to be placed on Wheeler's arm. Herring successfully placed his tourniquet high and tight underneath Wheeler's armpit, like training has provided and told us to do so. I know this action helped to further stop the bleeding while waiting for medical personnel to arrive on scene. While waiting, Herring provided and assisted Wheeler with drinking water and continued to investigate the incident. Medical personnel arrived at approximately 2:57 p.m., which is 17 minutes after Herring arrived on scene. It may sound small, but I believe Herring's actions that day to provide and place a tourniquet on Wheeler, along with other selfless actions, helped to save the life of Wheeler. Since the incident, I have contacted Mr. Wheeler to inquire how things are going. Unfortunately, Wheeler's left arm was amputated, but he did state that Herring's quick actions of placing his tourniquet on him definitely helped to stop the bleeding fully. Wheeler mentioned that there was a combined effort from everyone that day, and was happy that his family members didn't have to see him die that day.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And we're honored to recognize you today, and we've got a certificate to present. And I don't know. Where's the sheriff? Oh, there's a sheriff. Yeah. So I will read this to all whom these presents shall come greetings. Upon the recommendation of the Office of Emergency Management, be it known by all that the first responder commendation is presented to Mr. Ricky Herring, Deputy Brown County, in recognition of his outstanding contribution to providing for the public safety of the citizens of Brown County. Thank you.
Yes. Greg, you mind coming up?
I'll tell you, as a sheriff, I'll let everybody in this room know I'm proud to have these two deputies working for me. I wish I had another 30 of them similar to them, but they do a great job, day in, day out duties, and I do respect what they do for this county. Greg, you've been nominated. It says, "Dear Sir, I would like to nominate Greg Parrott with the Brown County Sheriff's Office for the First Responders Quarterly Award." Greg is a mental health deputy assigned to the CFLR MCOT team. He has been involved with the mental health deputy program from the beginning. He is also a member of the SWAT team as an operator, assistant team leader. Greg has been in law enforcement since 1988. He is a retiree from the Lubbock Sheriff's Office and worked at Bangs prior to joining the Sheriff's Office in 2018. Greg is also the president of the Sheriff's Officers Association. He contributes numerous hours towards helping those in our community in Brown County. Along with these many things, he is also a member of the Bangs City Council, where he and his wife and 2 children live. Greg is also a classroom instructor, and he teaches firearms and law enforcement classes locally at the Regional Academy in Abilene. Greg is a former homicide detective from his previous employment. He has a wealth of knowledge, and I feel privileged to have him as my partner for the last 4 years. Thank you, Mental Health Deputy Stephen Thompson, who is a co-worker of his. So, Greg, thank you for everything you do. And I do want to let y'all know that Greg is one of the reasons that the mental health program we started a few years ago is such a great success. Thanks again, Greg.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to present you the certificate to all whom these presents shall come. Greetings. On the recommendation of the Office of Emergency Management, be it known by all that this first responder commendation is presented to Mr. Greg Parrott, Deputy Brown County, in recognition of his outstanding contributions providing for the public safety of the citizens of Brown County. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge.
Sheriff, you want to come?
Pardon?
You want to come up forward to do your item?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Judge, if I may, I'd like to take a moment to welcome you to the Brown County Commissioner.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I do need to take care of mine.
Yeah, you're gonna do yours and then ask if both of y'all do it. So you wanna go first?
If I can't get
So
this,
we're gonna skip down to, item C. Commissioner Worley's consideration of possible approval and action regarding declaring a 2015 Chevy pickup surplus.
Precinct 1 has a 2015 Chevrolet pickup. It has a little over 200,000 miles on it that is beginning to give some maintenance issues. And they're becoming quite costly. So I move that this court allow us to declare that 2015 Chevy pickup surplus.
That motion.
That was a motion.
Second.
Second.
All right, it has been moved by Commissioner Worley and seconded by Commissioner Shaw that we declare a 2015 Chevy pickup surplus. Any discussion or questions? There being none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? There are none. So D, consideration of possible approval of action to sell 2015 Chevy pickup on gov deals.
Well, and I'd like permission to sell this pickup on govdeals.com. So I move that the court allow precinct 1 to sell this 2015 Chevrolet pickup on gov deals.
It's been moved by Commissioner Worley and seconded by Commissioner Traywick that we sell that pickup on gov deals. Is there any questions or discussion? There being none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? There are none. And then E, consideration and possible approval of an action regarding the purchase of a new 2022 F-150 from Big Country Ford.
All right, as everyone knows, you can't find a new pickup to buy in the state of Texas very, very easily. I couldn't get a 3/4 ton pickup, but Brownwood Big Country Ford found a F-150 half ton, heavy half ton. And we decided that that would suit the road foreman's purpose. So made our contract with Big Country Ford. The price on that truck is $46,456.75 for a new 2022 F-150. It's well under the bid limit price, $50,000. I did check with other dealers around, and nobody had anything comparable to you. So I moved it, Court allow Precinct 1 to buy this 2022 F-150 pickup from Big Country Ford for the price of $46,456.75.
Second. It's been moved by Commissioner Worley and seconded by Commissioner Shaw that we approve the purchase of a 2022 F-150 from Big Country Ford for Commissioner Worley's precinct. Is there any discussion, comments? There being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There's none, so it passes. And so, I know you've got some of this
Yes,
to
I
attend
do.
to, and so you can get on the road.
All right, thank you.
Enjoy your trip. Sure.
We're gonna skip down to Q. Sheriff Hill, consideration and possible approval of action regarding the changes.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have 3 employee changes that I'm ready to present to the court this morning. One of them is we're moving Jailer Ashley Brown from a part-time position to a full-time position at the rate of $38,000 per year. She will be a certified jailer. The next employee change is going to be back in the jail. We've hired Jailer Evan Belize at the rate of $38,000 per year. And then we're moving a current jailer from the jail position into the part-time position of the the commissary clerk at a rate of $14 per hour, not to exceed 29 hours per week. Those are the 3 changes that I have. Sorry for the stiff one.
I'll make a motion to approve the 3 hires for our changes in position for the sheriff department.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the employee changes proposed by the sheriff. Any discussion, questions, any comments? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? There are none.
Does that really be voted when you don't think? Or is it just 4-0?
4-0.
And then Judge, the other item I'm on the agenda for, you'll need to just formally announce that I'm requesting that be passed.
Sure. Item P is on the agenda. It's related to prescription drug program for indigent inmates. We are going to pass that at this time, and we'll consider it at a future meeting. All right, thank you.
Jail count 155 inmates this morning. Thank y'all.
We'll go back to citizens' comments. No one has signed up, or I'm not aware of anybody that signed up to speak. Consideration and approval of the agenda minutes from 12/27.
I make a motion to approve the minutes presented by the county clerk.
It has been moved by Commissioner Kelton and seconded by Commissioner Traywick that we approve those as prepared by the county clerk. Is there any discussion, any questions? There being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Consideration and approval of the treasurer and auditor's report.
We don't have one today.
Consideration and possible approval, I'm sorry, let's go to A. Commissioner Kelton, consideration and possible approval of action regarding burn ban.
I think we've been doing pretty good with the burn ban off,
Leave it on for a little while.
so I haven't heard any requests from the fire department.
So we're not gonna take no action on the burn ban, we'll allow it to stay off. Next is County Attorney Broughton, consideration and possible approval of employee change.
You want me to stand up or am I good?
No, you're good.
Talk about it right here.
Yeah.
As we know, Miss Nina is hiding back there. Valencia has been with the county attorney's office for 20 years. And she is going to be going with Judge Britton to a different position. So I have a vacancy. I'd like to hire Haley Oaksford at a rate of $33,000. Miss Valencia's salary was at $48,000. The 33 should be the approved starting pay that you guys approved in the fall. So that's my request today. Judge, I have it on the old letterhead, so I just crossed that out, but I can resubmit that if you prefer.
Who's the hire?
Haley Oaksford.
Like most of the because county attorney.
I'll second it.
It's been moved by Commissioner Shaw and seconded by Commissioner Kelton that we approve the hire of Haley Oaksford in the county attorney's office. Any discussion?
Y'all can hear it, can't you?
Not very well.
That's an ongoing problem that we're gonna address.
I'm like, sure.
Yeah. So, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's approved. Ronnie Lackey, Brown County Historical Commission, consideration, possible approval of action regarding approving historical commission members.
Each county executive is required to appoint a historical commission. That's done in the January of every odd year. We have a slate of this for y'all to approve or the other suggestions right now. I don't know what you need to say you approve it, but we were just asking if you vote on that so we can send it into the state of Texas.
Who are our current members?
What?
I mean, do we have current members? Who are they?
Yes, most of those are, several of those are the same ones. Oh.
Judge, you have a list. I marked what letter it was
Okay.
within your stuff.
We took a few off from last time, but we had unfortunately a few that passed away and a couple that got older, but we added a few extras, but, they deal with those the same ones that been on the historical commission, helping museums and cemeteries and things.
So there's no guidelines about how many you have?
You have to have at least 5,
At least 5.
and there's no maximum. And they can drop off and they can add during the 2 years, but we're supposed to designate a slate. We try to cover people from around the county, all the communities.
Are there regular meetings?
Yes, every 4th Tuesday in June and the Union section. We'll stick you a agenda out before that.
Okay.
They're usually about an hour most times.
Not even one of
They're not even much.
So you want to make a motion
them. What do we have to list the name?
Oh, yes.
There should be
No, we're not gonna read it now.
You're saying we don't need to read anything?
Just a motion.
I make a motion we approve the list before us for the members of the historical society.
I have all the deal on that, and what I understand, the judge and commissioners are always ad hoc members, that's why I have to all on there.
Who made the motion? Commissioner Kelton, who seconded it?
I said,
Commissioner Shaw, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the list as presented by Mr. Lackey for members of the Brown County Historical Commission. Is there any discussion? Any questions, comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? There's none opposed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't get it now.
Dave Olhausen.
I got it. I read the girl's name up there. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you? We have, we've received a letter from Jerry Cash, president of the Central Texas Rural Transportation District, nominating you for another 2-year term, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
To the Central Texas Rural Transportation District Board. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
You've been our representative since I can recall. You've been our representative as long as I can recall.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
He seems to be our most experienced.
Since 91.
91.
It's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Is there any discussion, questions, or comments? Anybody might want to make a
I make a
motion?
motion, we appoint Dave to the Central Texas Rural Transportation Board of Directors.
It has been moved by Commissioner Kelton and seconded by Commissioner Trawick that we reappoint Dave Olhausen as board member, as Brown County's board member on the Central Texas Rural Transportation Board. Is there any discussion, comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you for your service.
For those in the room that don't know what the Central Texas Rural Transportation is, can you tell us
Yes,
very briefly?
it's a government subdivision. The districts were originally formed in 1981. As of today, there's about 38 to 40 around the state. They comprise about 37 or 8% of all the counties in the state. Our purpose is to protect, to promote, and to preserve the rural rail lines in the state of Texas. Back in the early 90s, unfortunately, the railroad wanted to pull out of all the rural areas. They want to go east and west and north and south. And we would not have any rail service here if we lost this. The board consists of one appointed rep, Brown County, Comanche County, Erath County, Hood County, and Johnson County. And we meet about 5 or 6 times a year. And an example of a recent problem that we had was with the line going from Grady to Omega. Okay. It was about 67 miles long. The railroad wanted to pull out there. The reason that they wanted to pull out was the quarry that was in Grady was not doing well. They had shut that quarry down. So the railroad comes in and wants to scrap the line. Well, the local businessmen there didn't want to do that, of course, because there are other businesses along that line. And we worked with them to form a district called the Heart of Texas Rail District. That was finalized at the end of last year. That it comprises of Lampasas and McCulloch and San Saba counties. So there's 3 counties involved. They're active attorneys on board. And they have stopped the abandonment of that park. It's still owned by a company called Omni International out of Colorado, but as of now, it's stopped, so we still have a lot. They're trying to keep that district going, and they're doing a great job. So that's good service. So the reason that we have our rail service here in Verona is large and difficult.
Well, we appreciate your work.
I hope that explains a little bit. It's kind of confusing.
No, it does. It's
Also, I want to point out that the Rock Crusher, which is the rail line here in town, they're doing a wonderful job. And our group helped them to get started. They expanded. They started with about 5 or 6 employees, and they got about 35 employees now. So the Rock Crusher is the one that takes the cars and distributes them around the town here to the industrial area primarily. Colburn, which I used to work for. And, so that's a very important thing.
It is.
They're not carry plastic to like a carrier and bring to
What's that?
they carry plastic pellets to some of the little ones out there.
They carry out. Yes, they probably carry to a dozen places out there, pellets.
Yeah. Asphalt, right asphalt.
Yeah, right, asphalt, Kohler,
A
Rio,
lot more.
and Spirit.
Yeah. You know, those glass beads, they're bringing those glass beads in now.
The pipe company out
Right.
there.
So, yeah, it's busy. You go out there, it's busy.
But you can tell by the way that the Rock Crusher has grown that the business here is growing. So,
Yes.
okay, thank you guys.
Thank you so much. Wayne Shaw, consideration possible approval for an application to install
A private line is what it
private
should be.
line.
All right, I've got 2 applications to get water supply. One's on County Road 305. And it'll be a very long line, and it'll be a cut, that's a dirt road. It'll be a cut, and it'll be done up to specs, but it's kind of always done, so I might put that one.
It's been moved by Commissioner Shaw and seconded by Commissioner Traywick that we approve the Zephyr water supply application to install the water line across County Road 305. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? And then there's one on 306.
Yes, the same deal on 306, it'll be a very water line, it'll cut on it. Tracy Road, and then be done with the water line, county specs. I'll approve that.
It's been moved by Commissioner Shaw and seconded by Commissioner Traywick that we approve a application to install a water line on 306.
When those are done, you have to sign an order.
Any discussion?
And you're the only one that has to sign that.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
There's 2 of them.
Let's see, Commissioner Shaw, consideration and possible approval of action regarding selling a 2005 Dodge.
All right, we got a 2005 Dodge one ton truck. Our tail end, it's been driving. It was one that the precinct gave to the emergency services deal several years ago. They got another one, they made it back to us, that's what they did. This guy got it key. I motion to carry it surplus.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Shaw, seconded by Commissioner Felton, that we sell a 2005 Dodge one ton
The surplus.
on gov deals.
No,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we're doing surplus to bid. We're gonna start doing this a little different.
Yeah,
Conversation.
I-
Yeah, right. Consideration and possible approval of declaring a 2005 Dodge one-ton pickup as surplus.
I made a motion.
And it's been moved by Commissioner Shaw and seconded by Commissioner Kelton. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And then there is a second motion by Commissioner Shaw to sell a 2005 Dodge one-ton on Gov Deals. It's been moved by Commissioner Shaw and seconded by Commissioner Traywick that we sell that on Gov Deals. Any discussion? Comments? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Commissioner Shaw, consideration and possible approval of action regarding declaring a 2006 Peterbilt semi-tractor truck surplus.
This, 2006 Peterbilt all trucks. We also have a trailer that runs on. We've got 3 belly dumps. We can use, prove this, surplus, and, possibly don't need any more. I make both the 2016 bill semi truck.
And then once you declare it surplus, you plan on selling it on Gov Deals?
Yes.
Consideration, what's the trailer, selling this Peterbilt semi truck on the government.
All right. And it has been moved by Commissioner Shaw that we declare and seconded by Commissioner Kelton.
Yeah, I will.
That we declare a 2006 Peterbilt as surplus and that we sell that 2006 Peterbilt on Gov Deals. Any discussion?
Is it the tractor only, just the truck?
Tractor, I'm gonna sell the trailer, I'm gonna sell
Just, we're
it.
talking about the truck on here.
Well, I'm gonna sell it.
This is just the truck that we're talking about. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There, it passes. Then it's Commissioner Shaw, consideration and possible approval of action regarding declaring a CTS BBT 34 dump.
I'm trailer, man.
Dump truck. That's not a truck, and that is a dump trailer.
That's what I was getting.
As surplus and to also sell that on Gov Deals.
Make a motion, we, turn the CTS 34 dump trailer surplus, and also make a motion. We say it on the.
Larry. So it's been moved by Commissioner Shaw that we declare a CTS BDT 34 dump trailer as surplus and sell that trailer on Gov Deals. It was seconded by Commissioner Traywick. Any discussion, questions? You know what we're selling? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It passes. We're gonna go into executive session, but before we do, we can, about it, consideration of possible approval of payment of any bills. The auditor has prepared those and has distributed those. And, does anybody have any questions? Y'all had a chance to look over them? Yeah, the chance there.
One second. Yeah.
Like, most we pay the bill, get it all.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Shaw and seconded by Commissioner Kelton that we pay the bills as presented by the auditor. Any discussion? Questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. And so we'll have this We'll lay this up here if anybody wants a copy of this or wants to look at it. We will, yeah, we will, I will tell everybody a couple of different things before we go into executive session. If there's anything I figured out in the last 9 months is that when you sit out there, you have no idea what's going on up here. So that's something that we're gonna work really, really, really hard on, even if we have to just get rid of this, whatever this thing is, reconfigure where we sit, because you need to know everything that's going on up here. You need to have a piece of paper. If we're reading some piece of paper, you need to have copies of that piece of paper where it needs to be projected on the wall. And you need to hear everything that's said. Okay? And so I'm apologizing for today. It may not be fixed by next Monday, but it's gonna be fixed pretty soon, one way or another. Second of all, for any of you that are interested, when this commissioner's court votes on to pay the bills, you need to have had an opportunity to review that prior to us voting on it. Okay? Because you can't, as a member of the public, have any question or comment on a bill that's about to be paid that you didn't know about. So from now on, these bills are gonna be prepared in advance, and so you're gonna know, or you will have access to that information before the commissioner's court votes on it, because that's not fair to you. Okay, so I'm gonna work really hard on those two things, getting the bills out prior to the meetings on Mondays to the public and making it more user-friendly that you can hear and participate. Okay, we're gonna work really, really hard on that.
The noise in the heater or the air conditioner is a horrible problem.
Yeah, it is. Just sound in here is just horrible. I mean, it's just, and I think it's got a lot to do with the way this is configured, because what happens is you talk to each other right this way instead of this way. And so what happens is we all sit up here, we're all having kind of a little private meeting, and they're just passive observers. They can't hear a word.
How many of y'all could hear what we were talking about today?
Nobody.
He said, well, I got one thumb up back there from a young guy. He hadn't ruined his hearing yet.
Yeah, that's right. Not enough hot rods, right? Because I couldn't even, I was sitting right here, I couldn't hear him. It was that.
That's a good little stuff.
All right, so we're gonna go, we're now going to go into an executive session. So we are going to convene into a closed executive session.